This is the Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai. Check out the Southtown Hyundai Advantage at southtownhyundai.ca.
It's time for Overrated, Underrated with Ryder and Lisa.
When's the last time you just popped into a Little Caesars and got yourself some crazy bread? Because it's been years for me, but this weekend, on Friday night, I dropped off our roommate and his girlfriend to a party in Sherwood Park. I felt like such a mom. I was like, have fun, be safe, call me if you need anything.
You wouldn't have answered, though. If they would have called him and like, can you come and pick us up as well?
Yeah, no, You're right.
Yeah.
But on my way back, I noticed there was a Little Caesars in Sherwood Park, so I whipped a shitty, went in there,
Okay.
got myself some crazy bread.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It is so buttery, so salty. You get yourself some of that spicy cheddar dip, and it's what, $5
Yeah.
maybe?
All right.
It was a great night.
I love that you're going to get in trouble for talking about breadsticks.
I know. I don't know
'Cause
why I said that.
I believe it's called turned around when we're on the radio, but I appreciate it.
I apologize.
No, yeah, I think we're good. All right, I'm going with underrated. Having like a solid municipal government. When you actually look at what your day-to-day it looks like, I would say like 70% of the decisions made by somebody else are your municipal government, as far as like how the traffic flows in your city, where your tax dollars are actually being spent in your city. Don't take the municipal government lightly just because it's smaller and like less people are talking about it than the federal election. So just to let you know, advanced polling will take place from today until Thanksgiving Monday.
Aren't there like a lot of things to check off when you go to vote for this one? Like
Yeah.
you need to do your research too.
You do need to know it a little better than just like the federal one was what? However
just
many
one.
people were running in your riding. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot more to research with this one. And you're right, it's important.
Just had something pop up on my Twitter timeline, and it made me do a little math. So I want to go through that math with you. It's one of those like demonstrations about how dirty smoking cigarettes is. Sorry to 6 a.m. listener club member Ryan, who loves his darts. But maybe he needs to hear this too. Anyway, it's one of those ones that has like a big jug, and it's filled with white, fluffy cotton balls almost.
Like a fake lung, kind of?
Yeah. And then this machine just sucks a bunch of cigarettes in it, and then it shows the cotton afterwards. And it's really disgusting when you look at the damage it does. So I was like, I wonder how long it's been since I quit. And then I realized it's been exactly a year and a half to the day.
Yay! That's so great.
Yeah, it was right at the start of like the first lockdown. And I think it was the first or second weekend. And I was like, man, this viral infection that seems to really attack the lungs, I should probably have them healthy in case I get it so I don't die from COVID. That was the main reason that I started thinking about it. And then like she's 9 now, she would have been 8 at the time, an 8-year-old that like I want to watch graduate. I want to walk her down the aisle. I want to play with her kids and not be completely gassed or dead. So there were a lot of reasons there as a dad too that I was like, okay, that's enough. And I managed to do it. So it's been a year and a half. I've saved $4,800. I just did the math.
Now, as someone who hasn't touched a cigarette in a year and a half, do you ever think about it? Do you ever crave it? Like when people are around you smoking, how is that for you? Because I do feel like a lot of people, they come up with excuses why they can't quit. Luckily for you, you weren't going out to the bar over a year and a half. And I think that's what can hold a lot of people back. They're like, well, I don't want to be the one that's not going out for a smoke when I'm out with my buddies. They're going to all be out there without me. Yeah, it's too hard.
Most friend groups now, it's like when I started smoking, it was a social thing. Then I remember like at one point, it was after I think I hosted a Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner with some friends or something, that I was outside on the deck and I was looking inside, watching everybody like gathered around the table, like laughing their asses off. And I was like, oh, I missed out on that moment because I'm out here in the cold by myself.
Right.
So it isn't as social as it used to be because so many people have quit, thankfully. But yeah, I would say I do think about it a bit. There's certain places that I really like smoking. Luckily, I haven't been on a chairlift in a long time because that's my favorite place in the world to smoke. But
Ball tournaments.
Yeah.
You haven't been to one since.
Golf is
Golfing.
still tough.
Yeah, I bet.
But not that tough. Like, it feels better to fill my lungs with good air. Like,
You made a really funny joke over the weekend. We had like a big roommate lobster night. And after dinner, you were in the kitchen doing dishes. And you're like, this is why I miss smoking, because I could just bail after dinner. And by the time I came back in, everyone else has done the dishes.
That's you know what?
Good excuse.
Even more than the chairlift smoke. I think I like the after dinner not doing dishes smoke. Let's play 107. Good morning.
Play 107.
1.3 million people in the Netherlands are older than 75 years. And there's a large supermarket chain that's making sure they're not getting too lonely as they get older. The Dutch government has a new campaign called One Against Loneliness. And the grocer giant called Jumbo is doing their part with a chatty checkout lane. So if you need someone to talk to while you're getting your groceries, they totally support you sticking around a few extra minutes to just have this conversation with the cashier.
Imagine not knowing you were in that line and being the person behind.
Pick it up. Let's go. She doesn't care about your life story, bro. I do think that this is adorable, and I think it's so important for people to be conversing with elderly people. But I would not want this job. Think of how tired you'd be after your shift.
Yeah.
And then you'd have this regulars. Oh, man. And what would their updates be?
And also,
oh my gosh,
should they check their lotto tickets while in that line instead of in the other line? That's my biggest question.
As much as we're just poking fun, I love old people. They are so wholesome and sweet. So big ups to this grocer chain for making that happen and giving them someone to chat with.
Tell me something good.
You know what they're doing, the elderly, when they're not chatting with the person at the checkout lane?
No, I don't know.
Humping.
What?
My story today is how 4 in 10 people surveyed that are over the age of 50 are reportedly enjoying the best sex lives in the entire time they've been around.
4 out of 10, that's not very good.
Over 50? They're getting it.
I still think that stat's quite low.
I don't know. I was blown away by that.
Tell me something good.
You just asked me off air if I really liked the movie Scream. You recall me saying I loved it. No, Ryder, I liked Scary Movie.
Oh, making fun of Scream. And you did really love that one, right?
I love Scary Movie.
I knew I was on to something there.
You're close, but we wanted to talk about a new Scream-themed Airbnb. David Arquette is going to be hosting it because I think this is just promoting the 5th installment of the franchise, which will be released next year.
And like by hosting it, likely, you mean, I don't know, he's on the TV, like, welcome to the home. He's not going to be there every night.
Yeah, I don't think so. But he was quoted on social media saying, as the local sheriff, it's my duty to be your host, to keep everything under control for your stay at the Scream House. What could possibly go wrong? This is in honor of Scream's 25th anniversary. And yeah, like I said, the upcoming 2022 film. Now, what is going to be in this Airbnb that you can start renting out as of October 27th? They're going to have, it's going to be the actual house. It's located over 100 kilometers north of San Francisco, and it's largely preserved from the original film's production 25 years ago, down to the knife marks on the bedroom door, the 90s microwave in the kitchen.
This is kind of a cool concept, eh?
I know. It's also going to come with its own phone that links you directly to Ghostface, so you can pick up the phone and talk to Ghostface. There's a movie marathon of all 4 Scream movies on VHS that you can watch inside this Airbnb. Classic 90s snacks available, including Jiffy Pop ice cream and pizza. Yeah, super fun. So again, this is available for up to 4 guests as of October 27th.
$5 a night.
Well, and the proceeds of the booking will go to Ween Dream, which provides free Halloween costumes to children in need.
Yeah, that's not a lot, though. Like $5 a night
That's a costume.
Is what they're donating? Come on. David Arquette can do better than that, can he?
Well, and Courtney Cox and Nev Campbell, because they're actually, all 3 of them are going to be in the 5th movie.
Really?
Yeah, they should. They should definitely be donating more money. That's not going to be a very good costume.
Oh, $5. You know what's going to happen with this house? I know that they're hoping that they're going to get like some Scream super fans that'll show up and watch the movies. At $5 a night, what you're going to have is a high school party. And the house is going to get absolutely trashed. Somebody might actually get murdered.
No, we don't talk like that.
Well, like, you know what I mean? $5 a night? I could afford that when I was dumb and 17.
Okay, you're right.
It would be tough if you named your kid something and then years later, you know, something like, for example, you name your kid like Corona or Moderna, and then this happens the last year and a half, and you're like, oh, if I only would have known. You know what I mean?
No, totally. There's a story that's gone viral recently. A mom wrote a letter to Jeff Bezos saying, Alexa is my daughter's name, and it's ruined her life. Because just at 6 years old, other students at school are bullying her and bossing her around, like telling her to answer questions for them, like treating her like an Alexa device.
Well, and I bet some of those kids at 6 probably get the joke, and then there's other ones that think she's the one that does everything around their house. Like 6-year-olds, right?
Yeah, maybe.
You would actually think that, like, that's Alexa, and if I ask her to turn the lights on, she will.
One of my favorite things to do is, even if I'm in a house that doesn't have an Alexa, I'll just yell, Alexa, can you answer this question for us? Alexa, turn off the lights. I'm lazy. No response.
Hilarious.
So yeah, we want to hear from you. Like, what ruined your name?
Mm-hmm. I had a Uber driver once. And we ended up having a great conversation, and he opened up to me that, like, he felt really bad. He named his daughter Isis,
which is a beautiful name.
Yeah, and then he's like, but a couple years later, I really regretted it. Mm-hmm. So they call her Izzy now, which I think is super cute as well. So maybe they just have to go with, like, Lexi.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, shorten it to Alex.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. But the thing that's also weird about this is Alexa has been around longer than 6 years, has it not?
Yeah, I would say about that, probably.
So I wonder if that name will go extinct because of Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. Well, you've got a story for us? What's up?
Well, my name is Karen, and I swear to God, I have never asked to speak to anyone's manager, and that I'm really nice. I don't have, like, a really short bob. These memes have ruined my name.
I wonder how cool it would be if you were to meet a Karen and she was actually married to a short bob. Right?
Good one.
Thanks.
Play 107.
Caroline wrote in saying, and I think we all know what she's going to say. Mm-hmm. Whenever she meets someone, they instantly feel the need to sing Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. I hate that song so much.
You know what? I do too, mainly just because in sports, they play that song. I think it's the 7th inning stretch in Fenway Park. Every game that the Red Sox play. And like yesterday, the Red Sox winning eliminated the Blue Jays from the playoffs. So yeah, I don't want to talk about that song either. I'm with you, Caroline.
We support you.
Yeah.
Mags wrote in saying, I grew up with the name Peggy, which had its own things that annoy me about it. But then Married with Children came out and everybody started asking me where Al was.
So my son, Justice, he's 13 now. Recently, a girls' clothing line came out called Justice. And so all the little girls at school constantly wear, like, little hoodies and their sparkly, glittering clothes saying, I love Justice. And it drives him nuts. And the girls are constantly laughing at him. It's so funny.
They're probably flirting with him. They probably wear it on purpose to be like, hey, Justice.
Well, that's what I'd pretend. I'd pretend that everybody was, like, just wearing my jersey.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Some of them are really young, too. He's 13, so.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
My daughter actually had to, like, be talked off the ledge after the Justice store closed in South Common. Like, she was not the same for a couple months.
Yeah, the girls love it. They just love their little Justice clothes, but my son can't stand it. It drives him nuts, poor guy.
I like the name a lot, though.
Justice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it, too.
And, like, maybe...
I didn't realize, I was like, for some reason, I just figured that 13-year-olds were also wearing Justice, but that doesn't seem right.
No, I think it does go up to... I would say it's more of, like, a... 8, 9, 10-year-old brand.
Mm-hmm. And it's still available as much as the Justice stores closed. Mm-hmm. Don't they have a section at Walmart now?
I think they do, yeah. Maybe they'll discontinue the line someday and he'll finally get his
Justice.
On Play 107.
That song is so good. What a way to start our week. Who's your favorite singer on it?
Christina, probably. I really like Lil' Kim, too.
I like Maya on it.
Good track. Although you do pronounce it wrong.
No, you do.
Go ahead. What did you call that song a few minutes ago?
Well, I accidentally called it Lady Marmalade. But then I was like, wait, no, it's Marmalade. But you're convinced that it's Marmalade. And I was like, no.
It's
not a soft D, it's a hard D. Trust me.
I think it's pronounced Lady Marmalade. Just a very quiet at the end. So I think that would be considered a soft D.
No, it's Marmalade.
Let's listen. You can't hear the duh in
It's
that.
in there, though. It's in there.
Soft D.
Hard.
Okay. I mean, I guess you should know, as you have the best Christina Aguilera impression I've ever heard. So
She puts the D in there. Marmalade. No?
I love it when you do that impression.
Now, here's another terrifying episode of Tell Tales.
Every weekday morning, we will read a story submitted by you, the listener. Something creepy that's happened to you or a family member or a friend of yours. Just submit your stories to Ryder at play107.com.
This comes to us from Lisa W. Roughly 20 years ago, when my daughter was maybe 2, 3, she's 23 now, we were in our living room early one morning, waiting for cartoons to start. From up in the living room, we could see the top of the front door, but not the bottom of the front door. The door opened, and someone wearing loud track pants ran downstairs.
What?
My daughter ran to the door at the top of the stairs and looked at me confused. And so I said, "Stay here, I'm going to go look downstairs." So I walked down slowly. No one was there.
No.
On the way back upstairs, I decided to check the door because I usually lock it every night, and it was still locked.
Okay, what?
I had told my daughter about this last year, and she said she actually remembers that day. And I couldn't believe that because she was so young. How could you remember that? And she said it matched up with her memory, how I told the story, and how she in that moment was very scared. We had moved due to other things that happened, like my daughter being held against the wall with nothing there, and the radio playing, even though it wasn't plugged in and there were no batteries in it when the babysitter was over.
Hope Play 107 was on, at least.
Exactly. If that was the case, you shouldn't have moved. That's awesome. That's a cool trick. Anyway, Lisa's story, pretty terrifying. The man in the track pants, we'll call the story today.
Oh my gosh. Whew.
Yeah,
Goosebumps.
That's also the theme of my weekend. I was, in fact, the man in the track pants. All right, let's give away some money. Launching something today called Play It Forward for this week as we look ahead at Thanksgiving, and we wanted to just do some giving ourselves. So here's how it's going to work. You just let us know at 780-784-7107 someone you know that would love a $100 gift card to Montana's in South Common. And then we will not only hook them up potentially, but you up for nominating them as well.
Yeah, why did they deserve it? We want to hear the story because we like uplifting, cool stories from our listeners.
As simple as like they're just the coolest. Too. Whatever. And we will randomly choose somebody every day who has submitted one and hook you and them up with a gift card to South Common, Montana's, which I was at yesterday.
Dude, their mac and cheese is so good.
Took my sweatshirt off. My shirt came with it. And all of a sudden, like right up to my neck, the server was walking towards the table as I was literally as close to topless as I could be in a public place. It was horrifying. So my apologies to that server.
So don't do that when you go if you win this $100 gift card, okay? I wanted to touch on something that I thought was interesting. For the first time in recorded Canadian history, mothers over the age of 40 are officially having more kids than teens are.
Wow.
And if you look at Celine Dion, Tina Fey, Halle Berry, they all had kids after 40. And I'm just reading this article. I wanted to read a little bit of it, if you don't mind, Ryder.
Sure.
It says, mothers can parent with less financial stress, more stable relationships potentially, and more life experience to pass on to their kids. There's something called TikTok anxiety. It has nothing to do with the app or the Kesha song. TikTok anxiety, or otherwise known as social pressure on women to reproduce, is actually beginning to fade. Society has become more accepting of women not having children at all. Although some women may feel a biological urge to give birth, researchers are saying what we're finding is maybe there isn't a biological urge to parent. Some people delay and realize they can have happy lives without children. So I thought this was really interesting. Just doing maybe a quick poll or hearing people's experiences. Are you someone that had children after the age of 40? Are you someone that has decided you don't want children and you are really happy with that decision that you made?
Yeah.
I love hearing stories from people, personal stories.
In my opinion, that article is a tip of the hat to sexual education too.
Yeah.
Like that less teens are having kids because they're educated on like what creates them and smart ways to make sure that that doesn't happen if it's not wanted as a teenager.
Right.
So, I read something that a lot of people that are polled right now in like their middle age are happier if they don't have kids. And then later in life, the more kids that are around you, like drastically increases your happiness level. So like there's something to be said there too, that make sure that you're surrounding yourself, if you're not having kids, with people with kids.
Yes.
And get good family friends and stuff.
Be a really active auntie or uncle.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's cool.
780-784-7107 if you'd like to share your story. And also don't forget, share your nomination on who you want to hook up with that Montana's gift card.
Play 107.
So this morning, Ryder informed me that you need to be vaccinated to buy alcohol in Saskatchewan now. And I can't help but think, imagine being 40 years old and needing someone to boot for you.
Hey, hold up. No. This story is from Saskatchewan. I think you deserve to give it the 306 respect and call it what people call it there. So imagine being 40 and having to get someone to pull for you is what it's called.
That's what you say instead of boot for you?
Yes.
What does that...
If the story happened in Alberta, I'd let you get away with boot. Just like if you had a story about somebody like breaking a world record for drinking chocolate milk in Saskatchewan, you'd have to call it Vico. There's just certain rules, you know?
Can you pull for me?
Yeah.
Boot's better.
No, I don't. Well,
Can you boot for me?
Boot is short for bootleg, right? And that, like, because back in the day when they had to bootleg alcohol, you had to, like, get underground to get it. So I get where that comes from.
What about where does pull come from?
I don't know. You just pull it off the shelf?
shelf?
I guess so.
So I tweeted this out, and Who's Bacon on Twitter responded to my tweet because I wrote the, like, imagine being 40 and you need someone to boot for you. And they write, I should go charge them $10 to get beer for them. I'm like, that's a good business plan.
Yeah, you don't want to get that close, though, maybe.
Oh, e-transfer.
So I think it's the same rules as here. Like, you have to have proof of vaccination or a negative test.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like that would be tough to like you want a cold beer after work. You stop at the store, find out you're not allowed to buy.
So you got to stand outside and wait for someone to, hey, what is it? Can you pull one for me? Say boot. It's cooler.
No, they wouldn't know what. If you asked somebody from Saskatchewan if they would boot for you, they'd kick you.
7.
Thank you for checking out the show. We are up to $1,200 with Ryder and Lisa's $20,000 Play That Tune. People are struggling with this one.
The highest we've gotten was $2,700, correct?
So, yeah, ways to go yet before we set that bar at the highest yet. But this one might get there.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
It is hard.
Your next chance to play, like I said, coming up at 9:10 a.m. We would like for you to nominate somebody that's important in your life, special, and could use a little boost going into Thanksgiving. And we're going to hook them up with a $100 gift certificate for Montana's, and we're going to hook you up with one as well.
Just for nominating them and being such a good friend. So we're doing this all week. Mm-hmm. Yeah, every morning on our shows.
And we got a pretty special text today to 780-784-7107. So that's where we decided to start things off. Do you have that for us, Lise?
I do. So Lane wrote in saying, I would love to nominate my friend Sandra. She just lost her 16-year-old a few weeks ago. She's not been able to work for the past 8 years as she's been in and out of the stallery with her daughter, so she has had to rely on government funding. Her and her son deserve a few amazing meals to once again enjoy themselves.
Mm-hmm. Just a really hard text to read, and the reason that we're doing this is for stories like this. So if you have one that you'd like to share, hit us up at 780-784-7107. And like you said, Josh was the one who texted in? Or what was his name?
No, it was Lane.
Lane. Like Lane and the person he nominated. We're hooking them both up with $100 gift cards to Montana's.
Yeah.
I tried to do a little Halloween decor shopping this weekend.
It's hard. If you don't have a theme.
Or $2,000.
Oh my gosh. There's some cool stuff that you can put on your lawn, but like Ryder said, why is it $300 to get a zombie that screams at you?
Where do you store those as well? Like, am I just going to have this in my basement forever?
Yes. This is why we do need to appreciate those houses that go all out, because that is not cheap and they're doing it for your enjoyment.
Yeah. And I just don't play that game. Like, there was a bunch of ones that I was like, oh, this is $75. I could make this for $4. You know what I mean? Like scary goblins, but then I don't make them for $4. Also, there was one that I thought I really liked, but then you have to press the button to make its eyes light up. So what am I just going to sit outside beside this thing? And anytime a kid walks up, I'll be like, click and press the button. Like, that one doesn't work for me.
We do have some listeners that go all out. I remember we got a text a couple weeks ago from, I can't remember her name now. I feel terrible, but she wrote in saying that she dresses up every year and she'll even go as far as like chasing kids down the street after they get candy at her house.
Terrifying.
Respect. So if anyone knows where you can get really cool Halloween lawn decor that isn't going to cost you an arm and a leg, please tell us where.
One of the things that you can do is somebody that like went all out who did have kids, and then like maybe they're retiring or downsizing, and buy the whole shebang from them. That would be your best bet for cost efficiency.
Yeah.
It's buying somebody else's entire lawn decor and then just going for it.
Imagine having that in the back of your car.
Well, like I probably about 10 years ago, I bought a coffin off of a friend for Halloween so I could have a coffin in my yard. You know how inconvenient it is? So all of a sudden this coffin took priority over my car because I couldn't park both in the garage.
You had to rent a hearse to fit it.
Like to move it anywhere. Yeah. Dumbest purchase I've ever made.
Ryder and Lisa.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai.
Play 107.